We're going to switch gears quite a bit here, and we are going to talk about daylight time and standard time. What is at issue here, and what Jay is worried about? You can follow Jay at Save Standard on X and also SaveTenderTime.com. Jay, tell me what is at issue, what you're concerned about. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, thanks for having me so much. I started this nonprofit, Save Standard Time, when I noticed this push to retry permanent daylight saving time. It's a good idea to stop the clock change, but we want to make sure we keep standard time, the honest-to-God sundial time, not daylight time, the fast time, the wake up early in the dark time.
Is that for health reasons? Is that for international business reasons? Or all the above? What do we get out of that?
All of the above. With standard time, the clock is more honestly aligned to where the sun is positioned in the sky. So it's an objective, logical, fair way to set the time. When we're on daylight saving time, you spring your clock forward 1 hour, and that makes your alarm clock sound an hour earlier the next morning and every day afterward until you fall back to standard time where you belong. When we're waking up earlier, that means we're sleeping less long into the morning. Over the long term, this leads to a chronic loss in sleep quality and duration, and that can cascade into mental health problems, physical problems. There have been many studies in recent years. There was a study just a few months ago finding permanent standard time would be best for reduction of obesity and strokes, for example. Standard time can help with our safety driving on the roads, with our children's performance in school, our own performance in the workplace. And this is backed by history, by science, and really just first principles, basic logical thinking.
And who is it that's advocating the opposite for the daylight savings time to be the permanent, and why? What is their motivation?
So we had standard time for many decades, and it was working well. And then during World War I, lobbyists for department stores and for golf associations started to promote this idea of saving daylight. It was presented as a wartime rationing patriotic duty to get more labor out of the workforce and to save energy. It doesn't actually increase productivity, and it doesn't actually save energy. But their belief is that if you're forced to go to work an hour early, then you're going to leave work an hour early, and you're going to go shopping or you're going to go golfing. You're going to spend leisure money rather than getting enough sleep that night with standard time. So we always find the advocates for health and safety on the side of standard time, and for a few moneyed interests going for daylight saving time.
And how has the reception been for all this? I have a sort of a thought bubble over my head too. Is like, Jay, did you imagine when you were in high school this is what you'd be doing later in life? I mean, how did this happen to you? And then how's the reception been?
Well, I grew up in rural Iowa, and my great grandparents were farmers, and they taught me as a child to tell the time from where the sun is in the sky. And when I eventually started to realize what daylight saving time was, I was always complaining about it and saying, why are we lying about the time of day to get ourselves out of bed earlier? If you really want to wake up earlier, then we should choose to do so, not have the government mandated across the population. I also have a hobby in amateur astronomy, so I know that time is not a random number we pull out of the sky, but it's a calculated number that we pull out of the sky. And professionally, I've worked in software engineering, and I can say that daylight saving time is a mess for programming computers. It'd be a lot simpler if we stuck strictly to standard time.
Do other countries do that? Are we the only one, or one of a couple, or how does that work?
It started in Europe with World War I, Germany and Britain doing it, and then pretty much all of Western Europe and the United States and Canada following suit. Many other nations in South America and Asia have tried it and have gotten rid of it, but it still lingers here in the Western world, unfortunately. And that's a lot due to just confusion. People don't know why we're changing clocks. They don't remember why. A lot of people initially will guess that, well, I like summertime. Can we keep the summertime in the winter? But you can't just change winter into summer by changing the clock. Right. So, yeah. If you're noticing right now that you're waking, if you're noticing right now that you're waking in the dark with an alarm clock, that's probably due to daylight saving time. And if you had standard time in your state right now, like we do here in Arizona, I get to wake up when the sun is, just dawning over the horizon, and I can wake naturally without an alarm clock.
I lived in New England for a while, and one of the many things that astonished me was how dark it gets in the winter early, like at 4 PM. It is black, it's dark, pitch black. And, if you did something to the clock, it'd be very strange. I can't even imagine what it would be like. It's already strange enough.
Yeah, so the further north, the further away from the equator you're going to have more extreme times, a longer daylight in the summer and a much shorter daylight in the winter, and there's really no getting around that. The daylight saving time is really just stealing an hour from the morning and trying to stick it on the end of the day.
Yeah. So where do people go if they want to support you, and what are the roadblocks?
Well, so this can be solved either at the state level or the federal level in Congress. And unfortunately, that leads to a lot of finger pointing, saying, well, talk to Congress, and Congress saying, talk to the states. But we really believe that the state solution is the best way to go about this. Now, state legislators will often be shy about saying, well, we can't go it alone. And on our website, safestandardtime.com, we do have model legislation showing how the effective date can be delayed to coordinate with surrounding states to make sure to build a regional pact. So please go to our website or social media, send your state and federal legislators to our website and social media. We want to ditch DST and save standard time.
And then Caleb has a question about the technological aspects of some of this. Go ahead.
That's something I was wondering, is if that's a big hurdle that's keeping people from, taking this on. Are all of the digital clocks that might have hard-coded programming that always adjusts for daylight savings time, is that any sort of a hurdle to this mission?
And also the international piece of that too, right? There's international differences and how it's going to adjust for that. Go ahead.
To some degree, most computer systems rely on third-party libraries that they are interconnected, so you can get your clock software updated by someone else, and that gets disseminated to multiple apps. More likely, we'd want a lead time on any major changes. I mean, airlines are selling plane tickets 6 months, 9 months out. They don't want any sudden changes in scheduling. But we have seen a lot of progress this year. 7 state bills and resolutions made it halfway to the finish line this year. Last year was the first time we got one bill halfway to the finish line through one chamber of the state legislature. So we're getting closer to ditching DST, and the more support you can give to your state and federal lawmakers, the better we can get to that goal.
Well, Jay, I'll give you one last chance for a call to action, and then I'll say goodbye. Thank you for being here. Where do you want them to go?
SafeStandardTime.com, or on your favorite social media, look for Safe Standard.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Very interesting today. I could talk to Dr. Jensen and Dr. Latipo all afternoon. They both had to go, and obviously the Surgeon General, I don't want to keep him excessive, long periods of time here. And Dr. Jensen had a heart out. But I do hope you'll follow those guys on X. And if you're interested in this, in Jay's quest to I like the story. I think that's the hook, is that he grew up on a farm, and the farm is all about light and seasons, and that this is an unnatural way for us to be relating to the movement of the sun across the sort of horizon, across the sky. So good for him. Interesting. Coming up,